Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saul Goodman the Better.
Pause.
Better Call Saul podcast. My name is Brian, and with me, as always, is Elon Musk's new acquisition, Dave. Dave, how's it going?
Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You know, maybe a whole bunch of people can pretend to be upset that
Well, they
Elon
already
Musk
are.
bought you.
They already are.
Yeah. All right. So before we get going, we have a lot of listener correspondence.
Man, a lot of people were happy to hear us again, excited to hear the theme
Yeah, which is
song.
weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, but like, it's
still weird to us because,
yeah, it's really weird. Like, I still have a hard time, like,
we have a big ego about how small of an ego we have sometimes.
yeah, it's just, but I mean, it's cool. It's cool that
It's so cool.
people missed us and such, and we've gotten a lot of good comments over the first two episodes. Hopefully, that'll continue after this episode of It's All Good, Man.
I actually cut out a reference to one of our listeners. I called somebody by name, and then I was like, I don't want to play favorites, so I kind of cut it out. And then that person was one of the first people to message us.
Yeah, so magnanimous of you.
I should have.
But we'll do like a special, like we'll try to record, or at least next week, on the
Listener correspondence.
yeah, we'll try to get to that. This week we're kind of pressed for time, right? Like things kind of got weird. Usually I think it's like Thursday or Wednesday night that we usually get the screeners.
I thought it was always on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, we didn't get screeners for 603, and then that led me thinking like either we're in trouble, which is possible,
Always.
or something big is going to happen, and sure enough, it did. So
Yep.
we'll get to that later on the show. But all you folks that I've gone back and forth with over the past week, we're gonna get your listener correspondence in. Just tonight, it's like 11:30 as we're recording this on Wednesday evening. But we wanted to get it out for you guys. We're just kind of pressed for time, so we appreciate you all. Everybody that's like, "Where's your episode?" Like, here it is.
Yeah.
So
Also, I was going through old reviews and stuff, and somebody was like, saying, like, I'll never listen to that guy's band. Part of the reason we're doing this late is I had a band rehearsal, and I'm in a new band.
yeah, I don't blame you. We suck.
Well, our band, we do our stuff, but then I would always talk about my other band I got kicked out of. I'm no longer a trumpet player.
Yeah.
I got kicked out for not being good enough.
Yeah.
So that's a good time. So now I play guitar with the Colleen Wild Band. Check it out.
Awesome. Well, today we are going to discuss episode 603, which is called what, Dave?
My favorite superhero tag team, Rock and Hard Place.
Nice. Nice. So that would be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and The Thing from Fantastic Four.
Wait, why don't they? Because I went and saw Everything, Everywhere, All the Time the other day, and I saw an ad for the new Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be Rock and Hart Place.
Oh.
See what I did there?
I did.
Yeah. Or Rock at Hart's Place, which would be just Dwayne Johnson leaning over trying to fit in Kevin Hart's.
It'd be awesome if they
tiny
came
house.
out with like a sequel to Twins with The Rock and Kevin
Oh,
Hart.
dude, actually.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Look at there.
Well, I got excited about a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually I'm against, like, gender swaps or race swaps with reboots are, to me, just like, just make something new. Like, I'm not against doing anything. Just
Right.
You're just globbing onto an intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the right writers, kind of be pretty funny.
There's potential there.
And they have chemistry.
They do. Plus, I think they're buddies in real life, which
is why they probably have chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so the episode opens in the desert. We see a nice little pan shot establishing that the desert is, in fact, a desert.
Not even a pan shot. It's like up and down and moving around.
Yeah.
And I'm the whole time I'm waiting for a hand to pop out, like the end of Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we just got a bottle. And a rare blue flower.
A blue flower.
Yeah, like Batman Begins.
Right, exactly. Like that. Yeah, you pointed that out to me because the whole time I saw the blue flower, and I'm like, God damn, was there something about the blue flower in Breaking? There might have been.
Well,
but,
remember, it's the blue meth.
Yeah.
Blue.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's like a.
But I kept thinking, like, man, I remember a blue flower was so important to something, and then tonight you pointed out to me that it was very important in Batman Begins.
That's right.
Which just keeps with the Batman theme going that we have because remember, Mike is Batman.
Mike is Batman.
Right.
I mean, actually, Elon Musk is Batman, but Mike is Batman.
Right. and then in the last two episodes, remember we kept making the Dark Knight
right
correlations.
Lalo's the Joker.
Yeah,
I'm on
he'd
that
make a
now.
really good Joker.
He would. That's his character is kind of Joker-esque.
Mm-hmm.
He's an agent of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
He has no morals
Mm-hmm.
or his own moral code or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and he just murders people for fun.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a little piece of glass with sand on it, and then it rains.
Then it rains,
and everybody was. I actually watched it live on TV because we didn't get the
screener.
The screener, and I was watching various forums and people talk about it live as it aired.
Oh,
and people kept thinking that was like a Breaking Bad tease because they announced that like Walter White and Jesse Pinkman were going to be in an episode. And a lot of people thought that like, oh man, it's just a matter of time before you see the fucking RV drive across the horizon.
Oh well, I was racking my brain because I wrote down raining, and I put stars for my big notes, and I said bottle. I was like, okay, this means something. This is important,
right? Yeah, UHF for sure.
Well, Close Encounters of the Third Kind first.
No, it's from UHF.
And The Simpsons.
Yes.
And Homer makes the clown tent out of mashed potatoes.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I knew it was, obviously they showed it to be important, but I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what is the Breaking Bad bottle? However, we now know what it is, and it's in Breaking Bad time. I don't know what that means. They're like, here's the desert now.
The whole thing just fell.
Let's show how we got there. right. One of those. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
But in classic fashion, it's very minimalistic, but it draws you in.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's supposed to be some sort of like the flower growing out of the spot where blood was spilled.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a nod to, where
our boy, man,
where Nacho is going to die and all that stuff.
We'll get to that.
But we had the opening, which was what, Dave?
Ashtray of Justice.
And what did you find out last week, Dave?
Okay, so somebody took the time. I don't know if it was one of our fans, how you came across it. You sent me the link to it.
Somebody sent it to me.
Somebody lined up all of the opening scenes from the first episode.
From this past seasons.
From all of the first episode of every season. It's always a Lady Liberty. So all this time we've been joking about how we think we're joking that the tape doesn't change. It actually is. And is degrading over time.
Right.
And this one even looked worse than last week.
Yeah.
So it's like spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how it leads back to like the opening scene of the series was Saul watching tapes of himself. So it's like, whatever.
It's like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Like
right. It's like Steve from Multiplicity, or the clone of a clone from Multiplicity. Calls him Steve.
Michael Keaton, who was also in Batman.
Who's also in Batman. See, it all comes together.
It all comes back to Batman.
He wasn't in Batman.
He was
Batman.
He was Batman.
That's right. So was Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Maybe by the end of the series, we'll get to. There's multiple Batmans.
And then also, Patrick Fabian voiced Superman in a Justice League movie, also featuring Batman. So, bam.
Yeah.
Circular. That's a Venn diagram right there.
Right. Batman's like the Kevin Bacon of fictional characters.
6 Degrees of Batman.
6 Degrees of Batman. Everything comes back to Batman.
Has Kevin Bacon played Batman yet?
I would probably bet he's done something Batman related because there's so many cartoons out there.
There are.
You know what I mean? There's the cartoon movies. There's the animated series. Kevin Bacon at some point has had to have something to do with Batman.
Something.
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, smash that like button. Smash the like button. Smash that.
I just like to be the company that makes like those generic like smash the like.
Oh god.
Those assets that you can buy off of people to put in your YouTube video, which we don't have.
Make sure you click that subscribe button. Helps the algorithm.
Oh
no, commenting helps the algorithm.
I think we've been over this. Well treaded. It's well treaded.
Oh, we're gonna run so many jokes into the ground this season.
Yep,
that's the dichotomy of the human condition, man.
Exactly. Duality.
That's right.
It's the duality of the human condition.
Yeah, right? Dichotomy, duality, those are the same thing.
All right.
If I'm wrong, leave an answer in the comments.
So, the episode opens with Nacho. He's all ready to cap a fool.
Lamb nachos?
I don't get it.
He's on the lamb? Nachos on the lamb?
Do they have lamb nachos, though?
I don't know, but it's funny because Nacho's on the lamb. So, lamb nachos.
I would eat the hell out of that, though. Lamb chops are good as fuck. I would eat the hell out of lamb nachos.
Only if it's braised.
See, but that's how you do it, right? Like, so if you ever open a bar, all you do is take food, like artisan restaurant, right? All you do is take food that's universally accepted as delicious, and then you just add
nachos,
one asinine nachos, or you just add one asinine ingredient.
Avocado toast.
Right. Everybody eats avocados. Everybody likes toast. And somebody's like, oh, I'll put avocado on a toast instead of jelly. And then, like, bam, now it's this big trendy thing.
And then also...
So maybe lamb nachos is, like, the next big trendy thing because everybody puts, like, chicken or pork or beef. Bam, put lamb on it. And then you could be like, oh, look how hoity-toity we are in our artisan bar. Our craft beers from Indiana.
And then you charge $20 for it, and people are like, oh, it's expensive. It must be good. Let me open my wallet for you.
Exactly.
Fucking people.
Artisan.
Hipsters.
It's artisan. So Nacho's ready to cap a fool. Then he realizes that might not be the best course of action. And then he runs really far through a field into an oil tanker. And it takes forever for the murder twins to show up. And really, I think he could have just kept running.
Probably.
Like, he didn't have to go through the whole submerge himself in the oil thing.
Right.
He had more than enough time just to keep running.
Yeah.
Because, like, as you see, the murder twins.
It wasn't that. Like, they were rounding the corner as he was breaking away from the truck. That's what I saw.
That might be right. I just remember watching him be like, God damn, okay, so he decides to run.
If he hadn't stopped and turned around, waiting for them to round the corner, then he would have had time. But I think once he took off running, unless there's a weird time jump, it seemed like as soon as he bolted, here they come. So he had to act quickly. And fortunately, somebody's tanker broke down about 100 yards from the road.
Right. But, like, that's a long way to go. And then as you see, right, so then the murder twins and company are out there and they're looking for him, right? So they stop at the truck, check the road, check the ditch of the road. One of the murder twins is like, oh, well, maybe he's in the most obvious hiding spot. He goes up, gets on the roof, he looks in. Nacho's actually really hiding in the oil, but then everybody gets patient and they're like, yo, we got to go. And they move on. Nacho comes up from the oil. So really, I still contend he should have just kept running and maybe ducked down in the grass because apparently they were in too much of a hurry to go any farther into the field in the tanker truck.
Well, they weren't in a hurry, but the dude that wasn't the murder twin, I used a lot of Google Translate this episode, where he said, I don't know what he said, but it was a farmer. He's like, hey, there's a farmer. Maybe he knows. That's what he called to the murder twin.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's what it translated to like a peasant or a farmer. She's like, hey, there's a farmer. Maybe he saw him. That's what it was. Maybe he saw him.
Okay.
So that's why they bailed and go check that out. But then when the farmer says he didn't, obviously he didn't see him, then you could, maybe come back.
Yeah.
But also I love the trope of like, okay, I'm going to hold my breath when, I don't know if he heard the footsteps and knew when to hold his breath, but like, it's a limited time.
Right, yeah.
So that murder twin takes a little bit longer to check. You're popping up for air while his face is down there, and now you're a dead man.
Well, I guess you might figure it out if you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Maybe you get like that little extra oomph of lung capacity.
Yeah, but the world record's 8 minutes.
Right.
So you got 8 minutes?
I don't even think I have 30 seconds.
I wrote down, it was awfully nice of them to park a tanker truck in a field, even equipped with a viewing slot.
Yeah. It was like shot through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was like peppered up with a shotgun.
Right.
And I thought they made eye contact at first.
Well, it's a callback to the guy outside the hotel, to where Nacho was tipped off because he saw the movement. So Nacho had to not move.
Right.
So even though he's like, he may see me, but I can't move because that'll give it away. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Attention to details.
I've been meaning to listen to the Insider podcast, but hopefully they explain how what he actually submerged himself in. It was oil, right? Like, for all intents and purposes, Nacho dunked himself in oil, but like the actual stunt, I guess you could call it, like when they filmed it, like, was that like molasses?
Corn syrup.
Corn syrup, you know what I mean? Like, I just like to figure out like what they used.
Human blood.
Or human blood, maybe cow blood, as a substitute for the oil. I just thought that was, it's not that it wasn't well done, it was just, to me, it just seemed like Nacho could have kept running, but like, just for like
curiosity's sake.
Curiosity for how they put that scene together. Like, what did he dunk himself in?
Yeah, I was also wondering that myself.
Yeah, but you know what?
If you have a theory, email us.
And Nacho's resolve was pretty good, right? Because they took off down the road, and he waited all the way to the middle of the night.
Oh yeah,
to get out of there,
just in case they come back.
Yeah,
because sometimes they come back again.
I'm surprised he didn't pass out from the fumes and such.
That would have been kind of funny if that's how he goes.
Like that was it.
He
like
just passes out in the fumes and dies.
That's the
the end of Nacho.
That was his death. They kind of addressed it where he was like coughing and he threw up and all that. But
maybe he knew he was going to die from that.
Maybe
that's why he went through with the whole.
I've never been. I've never been in that position where I've been.
No, I've never submerged myself in oil
yet. It may happen.
Still got that application pending for Double Dare.
Yeah, exactly. Pick it.
Oh, that was awesome too. Where somebody appreciated your Double Dare physical challenge reference, and I wanted to respond with like, we interviewed Mark Summers, right?
We did interview Mark Summers. That's right. Yeah, he's a very nice gentleman.
I was sitting in this very room when that happened.
For sure. All right. So next scene, Nacho then makes his way to a mechanic shop, starts scrubbing himself off.
That's right. The dude comes out and hands him a rag.
I do love the acting on Nacho when he's like scrubbing himself off and he just keeps like darting his head around, like looking around, like that. Michael Mando did a fantastic job acting in this episode.
Oh yeah, I mean that.
For Swan Song, like he really killed it. Like,
right,
just the little expressions and movements and such like that. Dude slayed it.
Hey, it's like a professional athlete in his contract. You're like, your contract's up. You got to show the goods off so you can get another gig.
Yeah, you just got to really put everything into it. I really feel he's a little bit more swole than I remember him looking too. He must be getting ready for like bigger roles.
Literally,
right?
He has bigger roles for his bigger roles.
He's swole as fuck, man.
Yeah,
and it was nice for that mechanic to help him.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that mechanic makes a lot of business out there.
No, he actually probably sees more people running from the cartel than actual customers. He's like, "Oh, here comes another one. I'm gonna get a rag."
Like, he has like a whole rag, like shelf, like like a dispenser ready just for that circumstance. It was nice of that guy to let Nacho use the phone.
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
Free of charge, hermano.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even take his money.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, Nacho called his dad.
Yes, he did.
They both knew.
They both knew.
It was never said, but they both knew that. I feel like they both knew that was the last time they were going to talk. And they both had already come to peace with it.
I think so. Well, I think the way Michael Mando was acting is that he was processing it in the moment, I guess. Or not. Probably knew. Just want to hear his voice one last time.
Exactly. I feel like the dad knew it as soon as he knew it was his son, and like, I feel like because he's been warning.
He dropped the whole like how many times we've done this thing, so maybe his dad didn't think it was the last time he talked to him, but he just knows that every time they talk, it's going to be this. I don't know.
No, I feel like the dad knew. Like,
think so?
You know what I mean? Like, just had that feeling, and then like he was just making conversation because he even said, like you should go to the police.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. That's why I thought he didn't know it was like a final time because he's saying you can go to the police.
I think that was like his last like attempt, but like I think he knew. I think he knew, and he was just kind of tossed. Like maybe one last Hail Mary will get to him.
I think if I had to choose between going to the police or dying, I think I'd go to the police personally.
Yeah, but Nacho's whole thing is he's trying to save his dad. So all he thinks is if he.
That's true, because if you went to the police, they'd probably go after his dad.
Exactly, right? Because that's like
I forget these things. It's been I haven't been active in the mob for like 30 years. So.
Right. Remember Hector like tried to recruit his dad against his will and all that,
right?
And his dad, stood up to him, and like that's kind of been Nacho's thing is like he's so far involved in it, but like the pressure the other way is trying to keep his dad safe because the cartel and everybody's onto his dad, so he can't fuck anything up because he's like, well, they'll, even if I'm dead, they'll come get my dad, and then people were like, well, how they, what does it matter, how's that going to hurt Nacho then? Like, what worth does the dad have if Nacho's dead?
Right.
But for the people still living, though, that sends a message to anybody else who might be a traitor. It's like, look, that motherfucker was dead, but we still killed his goddamn family.
Right.
Like, so don't you?
That's what they do.
Fuck that, fuck our shit up.
What they do.
That is what they do.
I like that they showed the conversation from last episode on the other side. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then he left his tip and bailed.
He left his tip and bailed.
A lot of oily money there.
It is. Yeah.
American currency.
Yeah. Well, it's worth more. The exchange rate is better.
I mean, for now.
For now.
I mean, this hyperinflation is not really looking too good.
Yeah. But I thought that was really well done. I think they both. I think I mean, I can't speak for the actors, but I think the gist of it that the audience was supposed to get is that they both were trying to have
it's one last moment.
Yeah, one last moment, and neither one really wanted to say what was going on, but they both knew.
Right,
it's like people talk about like the last time you see somebody, you just kind of have a feeling where it's like that's the last time I'll ever see them or speak with them and such.
Yeah,
it's probably a lot like that, and his dad's like, his dad has probably already come to grips with it, right? Because he's like, well, what more is there to say,
right? Yeah,
Yep. That's it. Nothing more to say, right? Because his dad knows he's beyond saving.
Which I can relate to a little inside baseball. I've had a few moments where I knew this was going to be the last time I spoke to somebody, and I tend to clam up.
Yeah.
I tend to just be in that moment and not, I'm also kind of scared, whatever. But yeah, I tend to clam up in those moments, and it's just kind of, let's just enjoy this moment here.
Yeah.
And then see you on the other side,
And I think that's when everybody started being like, oh, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
I think that's when everybody was watching, putting together, was like,
I didn't. I told you I was 100% convinced that he was going to survive at least this episode.
I was see that me like millions of others. That's when I was like, because remember the whole time I'm like, something big must be happening because we didn't get the screener.
Right.
And then as soon as he picked the phone, he started talking to his dad. I'm like, oh, this is the episode where Nacho bites it.
Okay.
And I think that
The thing that kept me thinking that he wouldn't is Saul in Breaking Bad saying it wasn't me, it was Nacho or Lalo. And how far are we from Breaking Bad?
I think the timelines are kind of running together now, right?
Yeah,
now
it does
seeing
seem
like
to be
the opposite side of the story.
Because I'm trying to we keep getting crap for how in depth we are about these things, but Breaking Bad went 6 seasons, and it was supposed to be over 5 years, but they lost a year. So maybe Breaking Bad was supposed to start in 2004, even though it aired in 2008.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking there's a jump because this, we established this is 2004. So I'm like, is there a 4-year gap? There's no way Jimmy's going to bring up, or Saul's going to bring up Nacho's name 4 years later under pressure from the mob. If he knows.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's something.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody listening to this can do a deeper dive on
we'll just wait.
Timeline.
We'll ride the season out and see.
Yeah, because I never took it as, or since the beginning of. Well, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. All right, because everybody's waiting for the Breaking Bad moment where, Saul's like, it's Nacho. Did Lalo sent you? And they're like, what? No, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
So like after this episode, I didn't take it as. I took it as like Saul might know that they're dead or think that they're dead. You know what I mean? He's just trying to pass the buck.
Yeah.
Because he could still be like, it wasn't me, it was Nacho trying to pin whatever he did to get in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
And be worried about that on the dead guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, did Lalo send you?
Interesting spin.
Because, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to because if he's like, Lalo sent you, maybe his next go-to would have been like, well, that guy's dead. So, like, let's make a deal. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, he might be, maybe he knows that Lalo's dead, but whoever his captors were in the desert in Breaking Bad didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I took it, especially after this episode.
It's so crazy we have these main characters from a show just because the writing is so good in Breaking Bad that they create backstories.
Right, exactly.
And just throw these names out there, and now...
Well, the greatest part about this is, like,
it's crazy.
Like a third of the cast is based off that one line from a show that aired 10 years prior.
Right, yeah. Like, well, at least it opens it up.
Yeah, so that's how I took it is in Breaking Bad, Saul was just trying to pass it off on the dead guy.
Yeah, okay, well, now that can make a lot more sense to me, I guess.
Yeah.
So they say.
So
then, we go to smash cut.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy making a vision board. He must be practicing the secret.
Yeah. I took it as they were storyboarding.
He's secreting, as I like to say.
Secreting.
Yeah, totally storyboarding.
They were just trying to plot the episode, as it were.
Right. Exactly.
Trying to figure out how to get one over on old Howie Hamlin.
Did you see the carrot?
Was there a drawing of a carrot?
I paused it, much like the gambling board from Cabin in the Woods, which is like the most paused movie scene of all time. I paused it. Nice reference, thanks, Dave. Yeah, there was a carrot.
Cute.
And then so it was like I think it was I wrote this down. So yeah, there was a carrot and then a sticker. I forgot what it said, and then phone call ? So I thought that was like the Kim phone call with the Kettlemans thing.
Oh yeah.
But then he puts the Namaste sticker between the carrot and the phone call. So maybe the carrot is yet to come.
Maybe.
I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, he's moving things around, being kind of fluid with the timeline.
Also, there was a small, and you kind of touched on it where you said you got to see the phone call from the other side, like of Nacho calling Mike. Again, he's trying to protect his dad because that's the implied deal that he makes with Gus when he's talking to Gus directly.
Right.
Is like, okay, I get it. Fucked. I'm gonna die. The only way this works for you is if I'm dead. So I'm gonna die anyway. I need assurance that my dad isn't gonna die.
Right.
And then I thought it was interesting that
from Gus.
Yeah, he had to get that from Mike.
Right.
Because he's pissed at Mike because Mike knew what they were trying to do at the
right. So it was basically you owe me. Like you did this, which really answers. Man, we had this big debate with a buddy of mine actually between when we recorded the last show about. For one, we weren't sure about the safe situation.
Yeah.
And on a rewatch, I noticed he put his dad's ID in his pocket and nachos back in the safe.
Right.
And I kept telling my friend, I said, yeah. I was like, Mike planted the phone number to send them to Nacho. And he's like, why would they do that? And I was like, because they're going to kill Nacho.
Right.
And he's like, well, why would Mike do that? I was like, Mike is hired to do this. He was just doing his job.
And we had a discussion about that on the podcast.
And then you always say Mike's a man of principle.
Yeah, he's a man. He's a soldier. That's what he's paid to do. Like he's going to do the job. That doesn't mean that he has like feelings about anything else.
Right. Well, they give the sigh and the begrudging him. He's begrudgingly doing it. So they did display that I felt that he knew he was setting Nacho up to die.
Right.
And didn't like it. But he
even owned up to it because he said it wasn't my call.
Not my call.
Because Nacho tried to call on. Not my call. Exactly.
Right.
Mike's a soldier. He does what he's told.
Right. But it's pretty funny that he and Mike had already interfered with plans to get Nacho's dad right before Nacho called. He was like, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because Gus was already like, get his dad. He's like, no. And it was the first time I think Mike has ever just said no. Like he always has, this isn't going the way you want to, or that's not a good idea. He never just directly says no.
Right.
And that's the only time I can feel I've heard Mike say no.
Well, maybe because it's like that whole like mob mentality. Like Nacho's dad is a civilian.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's isn't that like the whole
the
thing about like these type of shows is they try to keep civilians out of it. You know, but Gus was willing to break that code.
Right.
And get the civilian, and like civilians are supposed to stay out of it.
Yeah, that's
which is a smart way to go because that's how you get noticed by the police and all that other
exactly.
stuff.
And Mike knows that,
dragging in people not involved. So might have been dual purpose there. Not only just doing right by Nacho, but like also like, hey, we'll all get fucked if you just start killing random shop owners.
You got to keep the heat off yourself sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. But back to Kim and Jimmy storyboarding Hamlin's demise. Yeah, I was excited for Huel.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I was like, "Oh, Brian would be happy about this."
Yeah. I like Huel.
He loves him some Huel.
I do. He's
looking a little more svelte this episode too.
Yeah, well, that's worked out so well because he was so big in Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, and then he lost all that weight, and then when he appears in Better Call Saul, he's so skinnier. So then it looks like it goes reverse the other way when really Huel just got healthier in current day real life.
Right.
So that actually works out really, really well.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So also that scene ended where Kim gave a big old super smooch to Jimmy.
Oh, I wrote deep kiss. Look at that. We both noticed.
Look at that.
Making out a little bit.
Yeah. There's a little bit more affection this season than there was last season, I think, between the two.
Well, they're married now, so now they have to prove it to themselves and others.
And Kim's getting more and more about this whole like Saul Goodman thing.
Yeah, she's really getting into it.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's getting into her.
Yeah, nice.
Getting some of that Wexler.
So they go to
Wexling that ass. Oh.
So we smash cut to the courthouse.
I love how we always say smash cut, and none of them are smash cuts.
I know, but I think
Star wipe.
There you go, star wipe. Yeah, fade in,
fade in,
fade in.
We got a little crossfade going on
exactly.
here. Yeah,
I just think the term smash cut is just kind of funny.
It is so I love it
because it's really just a funny way just to say like the scene changes.
The scene changes. Yeah. Yes. So we change scenes.
So we change and scene
and
open courthouse. Mid-morning.
Suzanne.
Mid-morning. Suzanne is waiting for an elevator. Jimmy and Kim enter from an escalator.
Jimmy and Kim enter. Only Kim leaves.
They share an embrace. Suzanne, disgusted at Kim and Jim's affection, rolls her eyes. Apparently, Suzanne does not appreciate true love.
No, it's that she thinks Kim's wasting her time with a scumbag.
I mean, that might be part of it, too.
I actually remember the recall on that.
I like to think that Suzanne's backstory is like she's a jilted lover. And she just treats anybody who shows outward affection like that with
one of those
disdain
people
and contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like that.
That's my backstory for Suzanne.
Some people just want to watch.
I can't wait to see her spinoff series. Like, goddamn Suzanne.
Goddamn Suzanne.
Goddamn Suzanne.
One woman's quest for love in a hustle and bustle of the law, the courthouse environment.
Yeah, exactly. It's
love and order.
It's like it's like Ally McBeal.
There you go.
But like set in Albuquerque.
Right.
See?
Ally McBeal in Albuquerque.
Shit writes itself.
Albuquerque. Yeah.
It writes itself.
I wish. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And just to show how ethical
Suzanne.
Kim is, she gives Suzanne, because they're opposing each other in a case, and Kim finds a file on her client that would be damaging to her client and hands it to Suzanne. And Suzanne's like, damn, this file's like 6 years old. We never would have found that. And Kim's like, first off, I found it during discovery, and I'm obligated to hand it to you because it's new information. But I also like the little zinger where she's like, but don't worry about it because we'll kick your ass on the merits.
That's right. On the merits. I don't even know what that means, but kick your ass on the merits.
I don't think she said kick your ass, but she definitely said, we'll beat you on the merits.
Beat you on the merits.
So it's great because like she's basically handing them a bullet for their gun. And it's like, It doesn't matter anyway because I got a force field. Like,
yeah.
Right? Like,
I'm a better lawyer than you. I'll win you with the lawyerins.
Right, exactly. It's a good, good, nice little way to twist a knife. It's a very good time because it's like, I'm giving you everything you need, but it still ain't going to help you.
Right. Here's all your info. Try to win.
And that's why Kim's a badass, good old ethical Kim.
Is it ethical? Is it ethical?
It is, because she was doing right by the law, because she even said she has to give it to him because it was found in discovery.
Wait, okay, I was thinking backwards on this because I was thinking that she was kind of being nice to Suzanne as like preemptively gaining a favor or something, or so Suzanne will be nice, and somehow that led to the following conversation.
Take it as that.
No, because I was just thinking about that backwards.
Because remember, the only person who loves the law more than Chuck apparently is Kim Wexler.
Right.
Right, and she's being all ethical, and that's why she says, but it doesn't matter because we'll beat you on the merit. Like, this is why I gave it to you.
Yeah.
So ethical Kim. But then just seconds later, she's in the office talking to Suzanne, and it's not ethical to Kim because she knows she confronted fucking Lalo to his face.
That's right. Snot good woman.
Right.
I'm trying to think of Kim's alter ego. Like, she's with Saul Goodman, so she's not good woman.
You might as well just cut that one out of the.
No, I'm not cutting it.
Take away 3 points.
Oh, come on.
Nah, but you know what I mean. Like, but then it's like, boom, other side of the coin. She's with Suzanne in the office, acting like she doesn't know anything. She's like,
right,
wow,
oh my God, who's this Eduardo Salamanca?
Yeah, gasp.
Yeah, Don Eduardo.
Yeah, like, what's your point? Pretty much, like, what do you got?
Yeah, what does this mean?
And she does like the reverse fishing because she's like trying to figure out what they mean. And
right.
And I was curious how they were going to play that. I like how Suzanne lays everything out, and then she throws in there like, well, but I don't think Jimmy's a jackass pretty much because Jimmy's a jackass, but she believes that he still would try to do what's right.
I mean, she's kind of right.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking to be a mob lawyer. He did just kind of get wrapped up into it, and the mob is using for his services.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, so thinking about it, I guess she's pretty on point.
She's only wrong about whether or not Jimmy knew Lala was lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I wasn't sure how Kim was going to react, but she kind of took it to heart.
And they, quote-unquote, found out that Lala was dead. Right.
Also noted that Kim corrects Suzanne to, it's not Jimmy, it's Saul.
Yeah, yeah. Like, she doubled down on it.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's Saul
because
now.
Suzanne insulted.
Right. Well, she insulted Jimmy, but it ain't Jimmy no more.
That's true. That's true.
It's Saul. But yeah, so they think Lalo's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe he is.
And then we go to the warehouse where Mike gets Nacho from the bottom of a truck bed that he was in by magic.
Yes, right.
Yeah, they skipped like that whole sequence, which I guess they obviously had to do for time. I didn't know where they were going with that, so I guess that was a good way to do it. I'm like, okay.
It was, yeah.
At first I was like, oh, they're in the underground bunker.
That's what I thought.
But then I was like, I don't think they have a loading dock in the
Yeah, and I don't remember them like unscrewing the floor and using a suction cup to get the floor up so they can get down into the bunker.
Right, and I watched that, and he had a canteen with a big straw for water.
Oh.
But I would think like there had to have been like some sort of oxygen system or cooling system in there because it can't be.
It's called the vent underneath the truck, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, what's the 3-hour drive?
Yeah, is that all?
I don't know how deep.
I mean, the dude survived in oil.
Right? I don't know how deep.
I'm surprised he didn't get like deep fried, really, because if he was submerged in oil, then he was stuck in a hot box underneath the truck.
Just ignites. Spontaneous human combustion.
Like that's how he died. That's how he died. Like Mike opens it up and it's just like a fried nacho. Fried nachos.
Right, I was trying to say that.
That'd be awesome. Okay,
like
so
Daytona Beach in 2006.
Yeah, good nacho. How about those beach nachos?
Oh man, they deep fry their nachos. Who does that?
Fry the chips. Yeah. The thing about but like really, I wouldn't put it past them, right? Because like. They're the only people that could pull off, I think, especially with Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul. They're the only people that could pull off like a seemingly like super cop out death.
Yeah.
Like then everybody be like, "Oh, that was genius! I never saw that coming."
Right.
Never saw that coming. And then like they'd be like, "Well, I don't know. We just kind of painted ourselves into a corner, just kind of like yada yada over that." But everybody else would be like, "Wow, that's
right."
Well, yeah. I mean, like they did everything they could, and then he was fried, fried nachos,
fried nacho.
Those Daytona Beach nachos.
Oh man, they deep fry their chips.
They deep fry their chips.
I've seen that so many times since. But man, that blew our minds. First time I had deep fried fucking tortilla chips.
Oh fuck! All right, so
Hamlin Valet. Oh, Hamlin at the valet.
Mm-hmm. I think I had some other notes here. Because before we go to Hamlin getting his car.
Oh, that's right.
Nacho has his last meal.
Yeah, his last.
And he was eating really rubbery chicken.
Okay, I didn't even put that together. But first things first with the liquor, and then Mike drinks it, but Nacho's still holding it. I didn't put together the last meal thing. I'm still not. Like I said, I didn't think he was gonna.
Yeah, because he has like a burger and there's like a slice of chicken, but he like cuts it with a knife. By the way, the sound design, you should probably listen to that with headphones because that was the most disgusting sounding chicken I've ever.
This is the only episode I haven't watched with headphones. I always watch with headphones too for those reasons.
Yeah, it was very very rubbery chicken for his last meal, so I feel bad for him because it looked like Applebee's quality. Applebee's quality chicken.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then he acknowledges, he's like, so when's that happen? It's like, tomorrow, you're going to die tomorrow. So that was totally probably his last meal.
And then the whole Victor comes in.
Yeah,
says he looks too pretty. I didn't really understand that. Why does he have to look more beat up? We saw what he went through.
Yeah, but
he's fucking wrecked.
It's to save face, though. It's
destroy his face.
Nice.
Thank you.
But it makes it more plausible that Gus isn't really involved because it makes it look like Mike and Gus basically tracked him down and beat his ass to bring him alive to Don Alato.
Yeah, I gotcha. But
because they had to make it look good, right? And then
it's just funny. It's like the story
Victor,
of
right, because he was like, "I'll do it." Like he was pretty much volunteered, and Mike's like, "No, chill, homie. I got this, yo." And then they had the drink, and then they never kind of went to.
Well, it's like the story of a football player you and I played high school football with, who made it to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Went to an open audition for an NFL movie with his brother, and they picked his brother. His brother looked a little more like an NFL player.
Yeah.
When the other guy was the actual NFL player.
Right,
yeah. It's like this guy went through hell, crashed a truck, got beat up, and blah, 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 and then they got to beat him up to make him look worse.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah. It's so funny. It's just
got to look authentic, man.
Optics.
Yes, sir.
They never always tell the tale.
Now we go to Hamlin getting his car valeted.
Yeah, there we go.
I really like the transition on that. Valet gets the car, runs down the stairs. Right? runs into Huel. Huel gets the key, take it to the guy.
Oh, like the way they did the swap and stuff?
Yeah, and then he runs back up, and then as he's coming back down the stairs, like every other flight is like a scene for the simultaneous action within the van.
Yeah.
But like the pacing of it doesn't break. It's like it's like the same timing as if they were going down the stairs.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I watched that probably like 2 times and like I kept rewinding it just because I thought that was like such a seamless way to do that, which isn't uncommon for this show.
Right, that's how they do things.
But that's one thing that was like really...
It builds the tension. Hurry up. Yeah. So you got 45 seconds,
Because like most normal shows would have like, like, I don't know if it's because of budgets or just like the way that they would, they'd be like, the guy would be running down the stairs and then it would just be a cut to the guy in the van for a second and then like cut back to the guy upstairs, cut to the guy in the van. But like, the scenes from inside, the simultaneous scenes from inside the van were interspliced with every flight.
Right.
That the guy made it down. And he'll have that shit on point. He's like, you got 45 seconds.
Right. Well, that's not his first rodeo.
No.
Which I'm watching this scene and I'm wondering because I'm like, you don't just copy those keys. This is a Jaguar. Okay. You don't just copy those keys.
See, I would be inclined to believe you, but like 2 weeks ago I went to Swaparama.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been to Swaparama, but it's on the Indiana-Illinois border.
I've driven past
here
it
in Chicago. Yeah. So at Swaparama, there are multiple booths that people have at this giant ass flea market.
Yeah.
That say we can replicate key fobs.
Really?
Yeah. Cheap. Like that's their advertisement. Like key fobs, cheap.
Interesting.
Like with signs that we can do any vehicle. So I'm assuming that this person that can make the keys just has access to that kind of thing. And
well, for one,
there's a black market for everything, man.
For one, personal story. A friend of mine owns a body shop. Somebody hopped the fence, jumped in one of his cars, a client's car, and drove it through the gate.
Yeah.
And he said that model of car, you don't need a key. You have a computer, you get the right code, you can hack it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure a Jaguar has something like that. That's what I'm getting to. And like you can't replicate fobs, and there's all the computer technology. My car, I never actually use the key. If I have the fob in the vicinity, you push the button. I drive a Lincoln. Fancy. But then when I saw the key, I started fucking laughing. Because there's a computer hanging off the key. So he did replicate all the computer stuff. He just didn't put it in fob form. Elf's back.
Right.
In fob form. So yeah, it's just this big motherboard, or circuit board hanging off the key.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I stand corrected.
Right. I wrote, after they put the valet thinks he loses the key, he quote unquote finds it under the car. And then my next note was, Jimmy gets a key fob the size of a TI-82.
Right. I had one of those.
And then he pays Huel, who then questions his motives.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all thinking it.
Yeah, like
he's only saying what we're all thinking.
Right, and especially with the Hamlin stuff, Saul, it's under the pretense of Saul's basically trying to push Hamlin out so this thing can get settled so Saul can get his money, but he's like, hey, this is going to make a lot of people's lives better.
Because they're going to get a bigger payout, not having to go through 2 big law firms, I guess. I think
they're just trying to expedite it.
I think...
Because it's drug on for so long.
Yeah.
So if they discredit Hamlin...
Well, I thought it was just
because I thought they addressed that if they discredit Hamlin, then the person, because I think the way that class action lawsuits work is there's a class representative who's like the person that brought the class action lawsuit.
Yeah, remember that was the whole in the first season. Jimmy had to like establish a relationship with her,
right?
Try to get her to say yes.
Exactly. So if he discredits Hamlin, that might pressure everybody just to get it over with because it's a high profile like class action lawsuit, and now lawyer extraordinaire is apparently like a cokehead,
right?
You know what I mean? And so, like, with him getting out of it, they must be, all right, time to settle. Just time to bring it to a close before things go haywire. Class representative says, fine, fuck it, we're done. Everybody gets paid out, and then Saul is rich. And when they were talking about the car earlier in the episode, remember they were planning this, how to get Hamlin's car. At first, I was like, are they talking about how to get, like, Jimmy's Cadillac? Because she was giving him shit for the Taurus.
Only because of the Namaste. I knew that was Hamlin's because of the Namaste sticky note, Post-it note.
I saw that. I guess I didn't put that together, but yeah. Anyway. Huel.
So yeah,
Huel knows what's up.
Well, he sees it how we see it. He's the audience's viewpoint in that moment.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why? You're making real money, so you don't even need to push that payday because you're already making money more than enough to live off of.
Right.
And you're going to risk it all for a little bit of...
Well, it's just the added benefit of fucking over Howard Hamlin.
Yeah, true. Yes, exactly. Why does Kim hate Howard?
He made her work in a mailroom. Right? Didn't he demote her for
yeah,
hanging
I guess if it's a male room, you put a female in there. But I thought that was acceptable in today's society. Any gender, anytime.
I like it. But right, like he basically treated her like she wasn't as good.
Yeah,
as
that's true. Reticent to promote her and put her
on. Plus, he has a pissing contest going on with the man that she loves.
Right. And she was sticking up for Jimmy because she saw how Howard treated Jimmy.
Yeah, and she's also excited about the prospect of Saul Goodman. Long story short, it's personal. So then we see Kim smoking and Jimmy burst in the door. He's all excited because Huel came through.
That's right.
But then she lets Jimmy know that, or as far as they know, Lalo is dead, and that Suzanne basically wants Kim to convince Jimmy to rat out the mob.
Yeah. Or just giving the option, which I thought Kim was going to tell Suzanne to get fucked. But no, she takes it seriously and says, what do you want to do? She offers it to Jimmy and says, here's...
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that. Like, yeah. I thought he'd be like, well, what should we do? And for a minute there, the way that Kim was going, I thought she would have had like a scam already in place. Like, okay, right. Well, this is what you're going to say, because then our next move is this.
Right.
But she kind of left it totally up to him.
What do you want to do? You want to be a friend of the cartel?
Because she might see it as like because for all she knows, Lalo is dead, right?
Right.
So she might see it as getting out before he gets in way too deep. You know, like, yeah, he'd be a rat, but like, if Lalo's dead, he might be out from underneath this thing.
Right. I'm
glad
the rock in the hard place.
Exactly. But I like that they didn't resolve it in that scene. That's
right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got 10 more episodes to fill this season.
Mm-hmm. And then we're back at the trailer where the Nachos Uber hearse approaches. And, Gus and Mike with Nacho go over the story that he's going to tell before he gets all dead and shit.
So Los Odios.
It's like a rival cartel.
It translates to the hates.
Oh. Hates.
It must be the haters, I guess. But
maybe
the Google Translate translated it to the hates.
The hates.
So I will now refer to them as the Haitians. Armando from the Haitians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, they give him the story and tell him, run it, Victor. Victor will put you down like a dog, the dog that you are.
Right. It's like choose your own adventure, but it's like choose your own end of the adventure.
I was just gonna say I love putting down nachos.
Yeah.
Choose your own end of the adventure.
And then Mike, being the soldier, volunteers to be there for insurance. And I wasn't really sure what his motivations were.
My first thought was... So I got distracted by...
So here, real quick. Here's kind of the genius of the show a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know that Gus, the Murder Twins, Hector, Donald, like all those other characters, like make it to Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I was like, oh, Mike's going to kill all them fuckers. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, wait a minute, that would be fucking impossible.
Right.
So I guess, so I thought Nacho was going to die, but then Mike was going to fucking like avenge.
See, my first thought was when Mike said insurance, in case Victor doesn't do it, Mike will off Nacho.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll be the one to do it. Almost as like an honorable thing, or like, if somebody's going to kill him, might as well be me.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had it later in my notes, but I'll say it now because I think we're getting there, but no, whatever. Or insurance that if they start going after Gus, then he can take out whoever's like the Murder Twins or somebody. If somebody starts like,
well, because he even says there's lots of ways it could go south.
Right. Exactly.
So.
But my first thought was like Mike will kill Nacho.
Yeah, essentially that's what he's there, is just to make sure that Nacho is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Mike's a soldier, so if Nacho survives, he fucks up everything he has going on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. And then this is where I wrote a note. I said, not going to die because Nacho sees something in the sink.
No, I took it as well, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, we're saying the same thing, but it's the garbage. It's the glass that Gus broke, cleaned up with his bare hand.
That's what that was.
Put it into the garbage can.
Wow. Oh, my God, I missed that.
So Nacho was like looking in the mirror and he looks down. And I took it as he saw inside the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
And
he saw himself.
Yeah.
In that trash can.
Yeah.
As in, like, my life is garbage.
Exactly.
And I'll be put out to the pasture soon.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets the idea to grab the shard of glass.
Okay, I forgot about the glass that Gus broke.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, yeah, I was like, he's not going to die. He's going to escape somehow or something, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. So then they take the U-Haul of Doom.
I was going to say the smash cut to the most awkward family road trip in a long time. Just like my family.
Right.
Everybody's sitting in silence and one of us is about to kill the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they drop Mike off and then Nacho.
So I noted Nacho's look at Mike. This is all leading to me thinking he's going to fucking get out of this. Because
I can see that, like, set it up like they have like an off-screen like plan.
Or not even just an unspoken like, it is an unspoken thing of like, I'm going to die and you know it. But then I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to make a move. You take out Victor.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But instead it was just quiet acknowledgement that they both knew that this is the end of the line.
Right.
The end of the line.
End of the line.
So they show up for the lamest party ever.
Right.
I did like how they just dropped Nacho out of the van.
Slightly less lame than the party in the first season with those two twins and Saul and Tuco.
Yes.
He takes them out to the desert.
Yes.
And threatens to break their legs and he talks them down. Your life sentence down to 6 months.
Right. Yeah. But I really like that, like how they just like let Nacho fall out of the van. Like they didn't help him out of the van. He fell awkwardly like on his side.
Putting on airs, man. He's a prisoner.
Yeah.
He's not there, buddy.
Further disdain. Don Alato's looking dapper as fuck, like a game show host.
Well, that's what he does. He's a Don.
Yeah, that's true. But sweet suit though.
Yeah, very nice.
Sweet suit.
Very well. Is that the baby blue one?
Yeah, it was baby blue.
Very nice suit.
Yep.
That's what I wear to the desert.
Don Alato goes about the good deaths and bad deaths. And did you notice when he said bad deaths, it was a view from inside the shack out the window, and you can barely see in the foreground a bunch of torture instruments.
No.
Yeah, because he's like, you're going to die today, but there are good deaths.
Oh.
And then I think they showed him with the guns or something like that. But then
you and your visual noticing things that I don't.
And then he said, and there are bad deaths. And then it's a view from inside that shack that they were near. Oh. And in the foreground, barely lit, you could see a bunch of torture instruments. Because remember, I believe it was either Gus or Mike that said, if the twins get you, or Don Alato wants to make it quick because he thinks that the twins method takes too long.
Yeah.
So that was foreshadowing that. And then that was torture instruments from inside the shack.
I kind of missed that.
Yeah. So Nacho decides to spill the beans, so to speak. And
but I noted that the way he does it and the way he hesitates puts a lot of pressure on Gus.
Yeah.
So then I start turning to Gus, which is Nacho's one of his last little digs, turn the knife. Yeah, I'm going to kind of plant a seed of doubt before I defend the chicken man and belittle him.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool because then Gus.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, me and Dave had about 5 minutes of discussion there. The computer stopped recording, but now we're back on now.
Yeah.
So long story short, right? My big thing about this scene was like Nacho had the shard of glass in his hand, and it was zip tied behind him,
right?
And then he started squeezing the glass into his hand, and his hand got all bloody. But then he broke free from the zip tie, and I contend that it would be impossible to cut the zip tie with a shard of glass.
Right, yeah. And I said
because I can't even cut it with a pocket knife half the goddamn time I got to cut a zip tie. And I doubt a piece of glass would stand up to that.
And I said that's kind of a trope because it's literally not the first show I've seen where a random piece of glass gets picked up and used to cut the zip tie somebody's handcuffed with.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think the last thing you heard was me saying that Nacho hesitating put a bunch of pressure on Gus.
Yes.
And then
he planted the seeds of doubt.
Yes. Hector's pointing at Gus.
Right.
Which is awesome because he's like, you guys are fucking stupid. I'm the I can't talk, I can't communicate, but I'm the only one that knows what's really going on.
Right. Well, then that was another thing. He started banging on the bell.
Uh-huh.
And nobody was like, hold on, Hector.
Right.
Like, Hector, is somebody here involved? Like, they seem to pick up on it over the phone, but in person, when he's pointing and glaring at the guy the best he can, banging on the bell, nobody thought to be like,
yeah,
Hector.
they're like, did you not hear Nacho's story?
Like, what's that, boy?
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell me?
Well, I think they knew what he was.
Timmy got stuck down the well.
They knew what he was saying, but they're like, did you not hear Nacho's story?
Right.
You didn't hear Nacho's story? He can talk, so he's obviously telling the truth.
Right. That's very ableist of them.
Well, everything's an ism.
I'm just saying. But then the episode ends because
Nacho's speech.
Nacho's speech.
Nacho's speech is one of my favorite parts.
The big fuck you to everybody.
I put the sugar pills in your heart meds. Think of me every day.
Every day, yeah.
Every day.
You're sucking down your Jello.
Sucking down your Jello. Think of me.
Call the Salamancas out for being fucking psychos, essentially.
Right. Yep.
Called Gus an asshole. He kind of really made the rounds.
Yeah, I think he just kind of, I guess, relieved.
And he even glared at Mike in the distance. But he didn't say anything about Mike. Right? Because he talked about Gus, looked at Gus.
Because Mike's
talked about the Salamancas, and then glared off in the distance towards Mike.
But he can't call Mike out because Mike has to protect his dad.
Right. Exactly.
So, and Mike can't hear what's going on. So Mike's none the wiser.
And then,
but great moment.
He breaks the zip tie and blows his head off.
Stabs Don Laudio in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Takes him hostage. And then, in a surprising twist, goes full Kurt Cobain on everybody.
He took agency. He took agency of a situation.
Well, okay, so that was one thing I wrote down, was that during the family road trip scene in the van, just before the Corvette with the hot girl passes by.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I was thinking about the dynamics of going to your death with the guy that's supposed to kill you driving. Like, I thought that thought crossed my mind while they're in the truck. I'm like, Victor's supposed to kill him, and he's driving him to the scene where they're going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that were real, what would be going through people's minds in that moment? That's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
That's like the duality of the human condition.
It'd be uncomfortable for sure.
Very, very. And like, as Victor, he's all cocky and stuff, but like, how would he, it's just, it's such a weird dynamic. But then Nacho just blows it all up by taking agency. He takes it in his own hands, and his last thing he does is on his own terms.
Yeah. And like, even if you put together that Nacho was going to die, I don't think anybody thought he was going to take his own life.
Right. No, not at all. Not at all. Very nice. Very nice twist. And it's like, because I thought he was doing it all to escape, but it wasn't. He was doing it all
for the nookie.
For the nookie.
Yeah.
Just so he could do it himself. His own nookie.
Oh, Limp Bizkit.
He took his own
Limp Bizkit. Right. But I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I did not. If you did, leave us a comment. If you did, smash the like button twice. Overall,
yeah, that was totally worth not getting the screener and the wait and all that.
And I had to watch it 24 hours after it aired.
Yeah, it's probably about the best way that character could have gone out.
Well,
Michael Mando totally did awesome acting job.
He do act well.
Yeah,
he do acting well.
Exactly,
and he was nice enough to do a phone interview with us.
Yeah, we chatted with him as well.
Too bad we can't do it now because he's dead.
Yeah. R.I.P. Big ups.
Big ups. Double M. Yep. Eminem, as I like to call him. Mr. Doe.
All right, so thoughts, Dave?
I already said a lot of them, but this whole exploration into the human psyche of gangsterism and the underground crime lords of New Mexico.
You're really sticking with that,
huh? No, I like...
probably one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Definitely one of my favorite episodes. One of the most shocking moments. The second major character that took themselves out, which is interesting. Maybe Kim will take herself out too.
Yeah,
that would be kind of crazy.
Oh my god!
Just like it's like the Clinton show. Everybody just gets suicided.
That's it.
But what was I gonna say? Oh,
but what's gonna be funny is like the jokes that we make. People are gonna be like, "Oh man, those guys are like totally like." I don't know, right-wing extremists and all this other stuff, and me and Dave really don't care. No. That's the best part about it.
No, I have a shirt that says radical centrist.
Yeah.
Which is totally what I am. Join me on the fence. That's what a podcast I almost started. Join me on the fence.
Join me on the fence.
Or join me in the middle.
Yep.
Because I can make fun of everybody. Stop being absurd.
Yeah.
Just stop being absurd. Twitter's not going anywhere. So, what was I saying? There's something about that opening scene. I still think about that because it's present. Is it present day or is it supposed to be like Breaking Bad time? It's obviously the future of what happened. Then they rewound for the episode because this is pretty advanced into the future. The body's gone. There's a flower there.
I think it's in the timeline of Gene.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we'll start every episode this series with something in the timeline of Gene, and then flash back to what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw a really good point. I wanted to bring this up that I don't know if it was listener correspondence or something else about the tequila topper.
Mm-hmm.
How that meant more to Kim than it does to Gene, which I found very fascinating.
Wow.
Which makes you think,
yeah,
Kim's still around.
Well, maybe we can explore that further. It's because it's Wednesday. Well, now it's Thursday morning at like 12:45 in the morning.
Yes, and I still have to edit this thing together.
Yeah, but long story short, we'll see if we get 6:04.
Yeah.
If not, we're in trouble, or something big is going to happen again.
Yeah, I might have to get AMC Plus just so I can watch this show live, and we can do this sooner than on Wednesday.
All right, well, we're going to get together, and we're going to try to do some listener correspondence next week. We'll get to everybody I said we get to.
Preview the prior. I don't know if that's going to come back. Nobody's asked for it yet.
Yeah.
So maybe we just won't do it until somebody asks for it.
Right.
So if you want to leave a comment, smash the like button.
And exactly. And with that, Dave?
What did you think of the episode, Brian?
I told you, I thought it was like one of my favorite episodes. All right, it's too late. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Call us idiots, call us geniuses, call us whatever. Just call us.